Cincinnati Rising with Rob Williams.
We've introduced you to new projects across the tri-state through Cincinnati Rising. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rob Williams. And today we'd like to tell you about some of the most impactful developments that have popped up over the past year. We start with a local organization that made a big move this year. Elements is a nonprofit cultural arts center that opened in OTR in 2002. It moved to a bigger space this year with the goal of teaching young people valuable lessons and skills through hip hop culture.
Elements was designed really to create a safe space for the young people in the community, and then also leverage hip hop culture to give them something to really sort of engage in and to inspire them.
Former teacher Damian Hoskins says Elements brought young people together to study the major elements of hip hop: DJing, rapping or creative writing, which includes spoken word poetry, graffiti as visual art, and hip hop dancing. But the students learned much more than just being performers.
Helping them prepare for not just those 4 programs, but how what they know from a creative standpoint can be leveraged to have a career. And even a post-secondary career that focused on the arts and creative problem solving.
Elements attracts 2,000 students a year from 16 different schools and 4 districts on both sides of the river. Later this year, it will move into this space on Central Parkway near Findlay Market, which will double its size and increase the number of students it helps.
It's really exciting to see the ways in which Elements is now in schools and engaging with other kind of community organizations and partners, and really helping inspire young people to think just beyond what they can do as a hip hop artist, but also what are the other creative opportunities that might be out there for them.
They say Elements is no longer just performance-based. It's evolved to help young people discover if they want to be on stage in front of the camera or if they want to have one of the countless and varied other jobs in the entertainment industry.
It's really a matter of looking at the broader creative economy, right? And so I always say it this way, it's probably the easiest way to summarize it. They can be entertainers if they like, they can also be entertainment lawyers.
I think that there are oftentimes stereotypes that are attributed to hip hop. And so what Elements does is it helps deconstruct that and to really show the core of these young people and their desire to just want to show up and feel safe and provide and contribute to our community just like everyone else.
You can find more information on the programs that Elements offers on its website, elementswithaz.org. You know, when lifelong Cincinnati native Hugh Hoffman died, he gave $250 billion away. Now, over $13 million of that is going to support ALS research at UC's Gardner Neuroscience Institute. We spoke with Hoffman's nephew and a doctor about the impact those funds could have on generations of patients.
It was unadulterated joy when we learned about it. I was given a phone call by a very nice gentleman named Bert, and he told me what he and his family were doing for the ALS community, and I didn't actually think it was real at first.
The Bert to whom Dr. Rob Neal is referring is Bert Bullock. Hugh Hoffman was his uncle, a man whose life was forever changed by ALS when he was just 13 years old.
ALS is a hideous disease. It took my grandfather. It literally made a lifetime change inside of my uncle. And actually, his brother and my mom all felt the same effect from the death of their father from ALS. ALS at that time was truly unknown.
Dr. Neal is an ALS specialist and heads the ALS Multidisciplinary Clinic. He calls ALS the cruelest of all neurological diseases.
ALS is a disease where you're slowly losing your motor function, but your cognitive function is still there. So you're watching your body slowly stop working around you and slowly losing the function that you used to be able to do. Think of the things you take for granted, like walking and moving and talking and swallowing and breathing. And those are the things that our patients suffer with. And that's why I think it's the cruelest disease, because you're still there, aware of everything.
He says Hoffman's gift will take care of patients for generations.
ALS is still underfunded as far as research and as far as clinical work. And so this allows us to provide a lot of clinical services and research dollars to be able to help patients living with ALS and help them live better.
In addition to this gift, Hoffman's estate gave massive gifts to the University of Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Zoo, Cincinnati Nature Preserve, and many other organizations. His nephew and co-executor of his estate says his uncle's philanthropy has only just begun.
My uncle truly loved this city. And quite frankly, he traveled extensively throughout his life. For that fact, he went through 12 passports during his lifetime. He filled them all up. His friends will tell you all the same thing. You mentioned, hey, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Cincinnati, and he was off and running. He truly loved this city. He gave and he gave and he gave. But he did it in a very quiet way because that's the way he was and that's the man he was.
Renovation work to the Duke Energy Convention Center downtown started earlier this year. We're going to show you what crews are doing to revolutionize that space. And we learn more about big plans coming to the West End. We'll tell you about the 5 projects that could transform the historic city next.
Cincinnati Rising with Rob Williams.
We should not ever lose a piece of business because our convention center isn't up to par. Never.
In July, the Duke Energy Convention Center closed for a renovation project that's expected to take 18 months and cost more than $200 million. Now behind me, you can see some of the construction work that's already underway. Before it all started, we spoke with Visit Cincy CEO Julie Calvert, who talked about why the project was so important for the growth of the city.
We are finished in 18 months, with this project. The types of groups that opens us up to that we're not able to host now because of size, space, innovation in the building, just the look and feel, is quite dramatic when you think of what we have now to what we can and what we will have.
Reinvention rather than renovation because it goes beyond carpet, paint, and tiles. Escalators will be moved and ceilings will be raised. Spaces will be opened up and brightened. Meeting spaces and ballrooms will be upgraded. The facade outside will be taken down and modernized.
But when we're really talking about changing fundamentally the experience, the look, the feel, that this is going to provide for conventions that are getting this in other cities. And we want them to say that the experience that they have here defines their time in Cincinnati, not anything. It was just okay. We want it to be spectacular.
This space will be transformed into an outdoor terrace with the downtown skyline serving as the backdrop. But that won't be the only space outside, thanks to the permanent closing of Elm Street between 5th and 6th Streets.
What we have here is going to be the Elm Street Pavilion, and it's where the Millennium used to sit, so it's about 90,000 square feet of space. That will be transformed into an area where you can do concerts, and there'll be green space areas, there'll be pop fountains, there'll be places like I said for concerts, and it'll be the first use of that is for conventions.
She says over the past 9 years, we lost 52 conventions a year on average, meaning Cincinnati is leaving a lot of money on the tables in other cities because our convention center has been renovated in nearly 20 years.
You have to have convention business that is here on a consistent basis, Sunday through Thursday, with tens of thousands of people looking for places to eat, to shop, to entertain themselves, to have off-site parties and things like that, and that's all money that's generated into the community.
Does it scare you to shut this place down for 18 months, and how do you justify it?
No, it doesn't scare us. I mean, it's one of those things where if we're better off doing it a complete closure for 18 months, otherwise this would take 3 years, and nobody's going to meet in a building that's in an active renovation.
She says it's not just Visit Cincy on board with the reinvention. 3CDC, the Port, and the Chamber all have skin in the game, and not only the convention center, but the downtown neighborhood which surrounds it.
This has been the missing piece of that economic development puzzle for our city. And so to have the eyeballs and the public investment that this is now going to have is really, it's creating a place not only for our conventions to really come here and enjoy the city and be successful, but a new place for our residents to come and enjoy.
The convention center is expected to reopen at the start of 2026. A developer from the West End has multiple ongoing projects that he hopes will bring in a new era for the neighborhood. how a local family is already benefiting from his work. And one of the oldest settlements in Hamilton County is finding a balance between its history and its future. We're going to show you some of the projects that are helping Montgomery evolve.
Cincinnati Rising with Rob Williams.
Lived next door to that house as a child, and it stayed abandoned for like 30 years. And when I became a developer, that was the first project that I felt I can complete.
That's Nick Johnson, a local developer who's got big plans for the West End. We talked with him about 5 projects that he was working on to transform the historic neighborhood.
I grew up in the West End when there was a middle class, and when those were all single-family homes before the crack epidemic. So I just want to restore it back to what it was when I was a child, and I believe when the drugs came, we neglected the fact that this was already a middle class.
Nick not only grew up in the West End, he still calls the neighborhood with all of its historic buildings home.
We're short on housing, and we feel to bring the middle class back to the West End, we have to develop these single-family old 1864 homes, and there's an appetite for those homes.
Like this home built in the mid-1860s. It's his latest completed development. A 5-bed, 3.5-bath single-family home on Freeman Avenue. Now home to Angel Griffin and her 4 kids.
They're very excited. They're just like me, very anxious. They can't wait. They want to go by the house every day and look at their rooms and ask questions like, when are we going to be done? So yes, they're very excited about it.
He also has plans to transform this vacant space into 5 single-family townhomes with 2-car garages. This former African-American-owned funeral home will be renovated for House of Hope Church, and the former House of Love Cafe will be turned into the West End Sports Bar and Grill.
We just want to keep our community a normal quality of life community again, and if we do it at this rate, we get the amenities, the grocery stores, the Targets, what we need in our community.
He believes the future of the West End looks bright.
In 10 years, I want the West End to be similar to Matt Adams, Walnut Hills, East Walnut Hills, Over the Rhine, all the communities that were slum that they brought back, I want to do that to the West End.
Montgomery was settled in 1795, making it one of the oldest settlements in Hamilton County. It became a village in 1910 and a city in 1971. Today, new developments are bringing a new look to the region while still incorporating its 230 years of history.
You've got the tale of 2 cities. You have the Montgomery Quarter, which is a $150 million development. So you've got new restaurants, new retail, office, hotel right over there. But then you've got the staples that have always been here, like the Village Tavern behind us. So you've got an interesting environment on a very busy road that's bustling all day long with plenty of options.
I recently caught up with Josh Rothstein in downtown Montgomery, a city he encourages you to visit.
If you can park your car once and walk from one place to get a cocktail, to another place to get a bite to eat, to another place to get dessert, to another place to get a cocktail, you've kind of made your night or made your afternoon all in one fell swoop.
The Village Tavern, which is up for sale, is partially housed in a building that's been around since 1889.
An old city like Montgomery, which has been around for a long, long time, it reminds people of what it used to be. That used to be a grocery store. So there are images that depict what it was like before a bar, when it was just a store, and people would walk up, get their goods, their milk, their eggs, and go home. So it still carries that same kind of image.
Montgomery is joining other cities and neighborhoods that has a DORA, a designated outdoor refreshment area.
What it really does is it creates this outdoor feel, even if a place doesn't necessarily have outdoor seating, so that you've got activity that's bustling, so everybody that's driving by, they look and they say, hey, that place looks like fun, when it's really just the environment that was created.
He says it also gets you out of your car and mingling with your neighbors.
I mean, we're stuck in a day and age where you don't have to go to the grocery store to get your produce, you don't have to go to the mall to get your dress or your goods. So any excuse to go and physically be somewhere and be present and relax and be around, you're engaging with the community and with the world, which I feel like it gets a little bit lost every day that goes by.
The city of Union, Kentucky broke ground on its promenade development this year. Why that project is vital to the city's growth. And a student from Miami University turned $500 into a boutique in Over the Rhine. We're going to introduce you to this young entrepreneur behind Urban Luxe next.
Cincinnati Rising with Rob Williams.
Earlier this year, Union, Kentucky started work on its new promenade development. It's expected to cost nearly $200 million and stretches across 62 acres. City leaders say the project is going to play a big role in the future of Union, with Mayor Larry Solomon saying it'll be a key part to the growth of that area.
Our plan is to hopefully get more higher-end restaurants for our city, because what we try to do is we know the needs of our residents, and we try to provide them goods and services to meet their needs. And that's what our focus is, and that's what our strategy is for the city.
Everybody, come on!
Developers broke ground on another part of the promenade project, which combines living, working, and playing. This portion is being developed in part by Hemelsani, who lives in Union, and is Union's population boom that has made it the second largest city in Boone County.
You see Children's Hospital over here. So what we try to do is try to get a well balance between business and residential homes that are here. And I think we're doing a great job.
Union has seen incredible growth. The mayor says in 1970, there were fewer than 250 people living there. In the latest census, that number has grown to more than 7,400. But that's not the only number that's impressive.
Union, Kentucky is now the wealthiest zip code in the state of Kentucky. And Union has been growing residential rooftops for quite some time. So we saw the need for the commercial development. And with the new 42 coming through here, there wasn't a whole lot of ground. So this 62 acres was very appealing for the master developers to put together this enormous mixed-use development.
2 years ago, Union was ranked 8th on Dwellix's list of top cities to raise families. And soon those families will enjoy new places where they can work, live, and play.
Well, we're uniquely Union. It's we have a lot of people here that are professionals, that have professional families with kids, and that makes us unique from any of the other cities within Boone County. So we're proud of everybody that's here, and hopefully that they're proud of all the stuff that we're doing in the city.
A representative with KW Commercial says that businesses will be open inside the development by the end of the year. Now we want to focus on a local entrepreneur who turned $500 into her own brick and mortar store. Sophia Blasi owns Urban Luxe in Over the Rhine, and her business can be traced back to the dorms at Miami University.
I've always had an interest in fashion and clothes. And I've always wanted to have some sort of shop.
Her shop, Urban Luxe, is located on Vine Street in OTR, and she says it's where uptown meets downtown. The Miami grad says her entrepreneurial spirit comes from her dad.
I was always known as like the coach's daughter growing up. So, he being a hockey coach was always very entrepreneurial, throughout my childhood. He always, had to grow a team, had to build a culture. So watching that for the past 20 years inspired me to start something of my own.
Her brick and mortar store started as an online business in 2020, just before COVID, when she was a freshman. And the seed money came from a $500 high school graduation gift.
It wasn't a lot. I was able to get 5 or so styles to start off with. And then I had people in my dorm room modeling the clothes in the stairwell. And I started posting it on Instagram, and then we started building a following on social media, and that's kind of where it took off.
She says whatever she made was reinvested into her business, which expanded from an online presence to trunk shows at Miami and UC, and now this store on Vine Street.
I really have always loved OTR. I grew up coming here with my parents, and I've just witnessed, how much has changed in the past 10 years, and it really aligns well with our clientele and our customer base, and then just kind of our brand.
Now, along with the other business owners in OTR, she has a stake in the neighborhood's future and plans to extend her short-term lease when it's up in November.
I just think it's so cool that, there hasn't been a lot of turnover with businesses. People have been here for a long time. And I think it's really bringing a sense of community to downtown Cincinnati, and it's just going to continue to get better.
A local family started a company that turns shipping containers into homes. How this innovative idea could solve housing issues across the region. And a new housing project broke ground in Hamilton County this year. How it's designed to help seniors find more affordable places to live.
Cincinnati Rising with Rob Williams.
This is Logan Commons, an apartment building that's about a half block from Findlay Market, which is Ohio's oldest public market. The development is designed to create affordable living projects for seniors. We talked with the Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority's CEO about what it means to get this project off the ground.
It took us over 3.5 years to get to this point. And we're thankful that we're at this point, and it took a lot of partnerships to get here, but we're very, very excited about it.
Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority CEO Gregory Johnson says this building on Elder Street is a key part of his organization's plan to upgrade housing. What used to be a surface parking lot will soon be 42 affordable units for seniors who may be getting priced out of this neighborhood.
This was the ideal spot because of the location of everything else that's happening. The Kroger's is here, Findlay Market is here, the restaurants are here. So you have a collective mix of jobs and just a vibrant area.
Findlay Market is a half block to the east, and there are plenty of restaurants and shops surrounding it. It's also very close to a streetcar stop.
So we're very excited to have an opportunity to offer families that are at certain average median income levels the ability to live right in the heart of the fastest growing area in the city of Cincinnati.
The building will feature a courtyard for residents to gather, a small garden, and 3 units will go to seniors with mobility issues, and 1 will go to a senior who is visually or hearing impaired. Supporters say it will allow low-income seniors to live with dignity.
Part of our mission is to make sure that we're building public-private partnerships and to provide quality options for families throughout Hamilton County. So this epitomizes exactly that. It covers all of those bases along with the public-private partnerships and additional of affordable housing in our community.
A spokesperson for the Cincinnati Metropolitan Housing Authority says the building is expected to open in January. There's going to be a grand opening event in February.
Hi, welcome to our container home. Today we're going to walk you through our 40 by 8 Jackson model, which is 8 foot wide, 40 foot long, and 8 foot high. So you have standard ceilings in all of our container homes.
That's Sandra Whitley. She started a company called House in a Box with her niece that makes homes by using shipping containers. We took a tour of the Jackson model to show you what you can expect from this innovative concept.
I had this great idea. We're going to build houses out of shipping containers. I already have the business name, House in a Box. I just need some people to kind of run it with me. But the real background of it is just trying to make housing affordable, or business ownership affordable. And with houses being so expensive right now, running the cost of this, we've realized we can get people under a roof for a reasonable price.
That was just last summer, and now, less than a year later, Allison and her aunt are business partners in turning shipping containers into homes.
And as we walk through, you see you get your full stainless steel sink, stainless steel appliances, All soft closed doors and cabinetry.
Sandra Whitley knows what she's talking about because before moving back and launching this business, she was a contractor. These container homes feature a full-size kitchen, there's room for a washer and dryer, and the bedroom fits a queen-size bed.
We have floor plans that are starter home size or second home size, but we also have floor plans just for the everyday family with 4 beds, 2.5 bath, and a loft space for the kids. So the shipping container isn't just a tiny home concept, it's just an affordable home concept.
We've been showing you the Jackson model, which is 1 bed, 1 bath, 320 square feet that starts at $55,000. The Gavin model is 960 square feet, has 3 beds, 2 baths, starting price $125,000. Their largest home is the Kai, 3 beds, 2 bath, and it's over 1,900 square feet. It can be yours for $169,000, all well under the average U.S. home price, which is approaching nearly $500,000.
But most people who I think are going to be our customer, they see past that superficial side and they just know I need to check the box of having a place to live. Why am I trying to spend the national average of hundreds of thousands of dollars when I can do it under $200,000? And then once they're inside it, where you spend most of your time, anyway, if you're home, they're like, oh, wait, it looks just like a house.
She says container homes are much more durable and stable than a mobile or modular home because each container weighs 8,000 pounds empty.
You do not get the stability, you do not get the safety of it. These are on a fixed foundation typically, so the way that they are mortgaged and financed is different, and they can be treated as a house that can appreciate versus depreciate like a mobile home. And it's a step closer to a traditional home, I think.
Now, if you're interested in buying a container home, make sure you check your local laws first. Warren County doesn't allow it at all, but Cincinnati approves them for a non-primary home. Also, they give a 10% discount for veterans and first responders, and we should mention the containers are always brand new. A new state-of-the-art gaming experience opened in the tri-state this year. We're going to show you how Activate is changing the game. And the creators of Covington Yard opened an entertainment venue on the other side of the river. We're going to show you what Oakley Greens is bringing to the community.
Cincinnati Rising with Rob Williams.
Gaming experience company Activate has been around since 2019, but just opened their first Ohio location this year. It's in Oakley, and it gives visitors the chance to become fully immersed in over 30 different games through a state-of-the-art gaming experience.
An immersive gaming experience where you use your body to play the games. It's a unique experience that you probably haven't seen before. So you would need to really come in and kind of experience it. But yeah, it's a game that you play with your body.
Game starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to Activate, where you'll probably be active. It has 9 rooms to game in, and each room offers 3 to 6 different games with different levels of difficulty. This game is Mega Grid, which is kind of like that Netflix game show, The Floor is Lava.
It kind of blends the two, right? So there are games where you don't have to, where it's more of a thinking man's game, right? But I think everybody's wanted to be Mario one of these times, right? And so this kind of gives you a chance to kind of experience that feeling of being the hero in that video game.
Users can compete against or cooperate with other users. This game is Laser, which reminds me of that Catherine Zeta-Jones movie, Entrapment, where she had to carefully maneuver around security lasers. However, the games that Activate don't just test you physically.
There's games that you can play that are just like trivia, or find a button on a wall that it's the only one on there, and you kind of step back and really think about it. So, and even young kids, I mean, it's something everybody from a large age range can enjoy for a lot of different reasons.
He says don't be intimidated by the dark rooms, bright lights, and sound effects.
Anybody that's new, we give you a very detailed tour of how to work everything, how to assign it to a game, explain games to you. There's also a how to play each game on every game. And then on level 1 of every game, our kind of disembodied voice in a room gives you instructions on how to play the game. And they're all very intuitive. It's not, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to play these games.
There is nothing like this anywhere in Cincinnati or Ohio or even the United States.
The creators of Covington Yard opened a new concept to entertain visitors on the other side of the Ohio River. Oakley Greens is an outdoor entertainment venue across from the Cinemark movie theater. Mini golf is its main feature, but it's offering all kinds of different services to the community.
We create something that is fun for the whole family, that you can bring children all the way to grandma to. So it started there. It's really creating a green space here in this urban environment and a place where you can come spend the whole day.
After 2.5 years of construction, Oakley Green is ready for those looking to be entertained. It spans more than 20,000 square feet and is located from the Cinemark movie theater near the Oakley Kroger. Even though miniature golf is its most prominent feature, it's not its only one by far.
Let's create green space in the front where we can host live music. We also have 2 fun party cabanas that you can rent out for groups of 40. Then from there we move into our clubhouse where we have an ice cream shop along with our clubhouse kitchen sponsored by Hangry Omar's, which is the same people that run Opal down in Covington.
In addition to the food, there are 2 full-service bars with 20 beers on tap and cocktails with a golf theme, like the Caddyshack Margarita. He says there are more than 24 televisions that create a hub for sports fans, a playground for kids, and 2 18-hole miniature golf courses for everyone.
We have our black course and our white course sponsored by PXG. The one offers a little bit more difficulty in the black course. White course is a little bit more family friendly, but again, it's for golf enthusiasts of all ages. So we really just want to be this really great place here in Oakley to create some family memories.
He says the golfing experience is elevated, so there are no windmills, dinosaurs, or clowns. He says it's like a country club without the membership.
We have these well-manicured greens that are based off of some of golf's most famous holes, and we've kind of tried to redesign them in miniature fashion. So we have things from Pinehurst and Augusta that are a little bit similar in scope, but not, you know, as large or as accurate. But again, it's those people that go to those golf meccas from around the country. I think they can find a challenge here at Oakley Greens as well.
You can stop by and check it out. It's open on Vandecar Way every day. For a full list of their hours, head to their website, oakleygreens.com. Did you know that the Tri-State is home to the second largest pickleball facility in the country? It's one of the fastest growing sports in the U.S., but the weather can cause issues for many people who want to pick it up. Now, the Pickleball Lodge in Westchester Township has found a way to help you try it out at any point during the year.
There are a lot of places to play pickleball in Cincinnati. In my opinion, it's one of the best cities in the Midwest to play pickleball. But what we lacked was a really great indoor experience where you always knew you were going to be able to play 364 days a year.
Pickle Lodge co-founder Mitch Dunn says the weather prevents people from playing pickleball more than 200 days a year. Now with this facility and its 17 indoor courts, weather is no longer a factor.
There is nothing wrong with outdoor play whatsoever except for wind and sun. So on a day like today, when it is both windy and sunny, it's really difficult to play pickleball. The ball is very light, so I always say that wind ruins pickleball games, and that is exactly what happened.
The lodge, which is located on Kingsgate Way near Tylersville Road, will also be home to the Ohio Pickleball Academy, which will provide equipment and lessons.
It's very easy to learn, but it's very difficult to master. And one of the things that we learned from tennis is the benefit of having an instructor who can watch you play and really help you improve over time. And that's what our instructors do every day.
He says pickleball has been around for 60 years, but took off in popularity during the pandemic, when many of us were craving human interaction.
Pickleball is a very social sport, and we built the Pickle Lodge to capitalize on that. So we went out and found the best pizza in the city, which we think is 2 cities, and we partnered with them to bring pizza right into the facility. We opened a bar and partnered with Third Eye Brewing to feature their beer right in our bar. So that helps people sort of relax before and after a game. We've got a lot of social space in here.
Not only is it social, players say it's easy to pick up, no matter your age or athletic ability.
That's what pickleball really does, is brings people together regardless of age, gender, race. It does not matter who you are welcomed onto the court, because pickleball is really built on this concept of being open to all. And I think that's why people have really sparked to it.
A local food truck has found a more permanent space. We're going to show you how Sweets and Meats is expanding its business. And a man who has an AP HD in chemistry opened a new restaurant in the tri-state. The story behind Hurry Curry's creation next.
Cincinnati Rising with Rob Williams.
Come to Sweets and Meats on Burnett Avenue. It's great. The food is great. The people are great. They treat you kind. You know, it's all about love here.
After 10 years in business, a local barbecue food truck cut the ribbon on its first brick and mortar restaurant this year. Sweets and Meats opened a location on the Children's Hospital campus in Avondale. It's a dream that two local entrepreneurs have been chasing for over a decade, and one they finally got to see come to life in the tri-state.
We're so excited to finally open our doors here in Avondale. This dream has been in the making for 10 years now for Anton and I. It's something we talked about in our backyard when we first launched Sweets and Meats, and we've been working on this passion project for about a year now with Children's Hospital, and they've just been phenomenal to work with.
Anton Gaffney is our partner in the business and in life. They've been together for 15 years, and 10 of those have been dedicated to growing their business, which is bigger than just barbecue.
It's definitely more than food. It's about community, because without the community, there is no business. So we're here to support them as much as they're here to support us.
We're pretty much a gem or a hidden spot in Mount Washington, which is where I'm from. And it was a little bit difficult to get to. It's not right off the highway. So to be centrally located here in Avondale, which historically has been somewhat of a food desert, people are craving something like this. They want home cooked food. They want to have a really good meal.
She says the restaurant's central location and Children's Hospital's 19,000 employees make this neighborhood perfect for growing their business.
We started this company with $500 and a dream. We started with what we had. We didn't pay any staff for the first 2 years. Everybody was a volunteer, ourselves included. And we did it. We did it with what we had. We didn't take out a bunch of loans. I don't recommend going into debt, but we had a strong passion and a good work ethic, and we're willing to do what it takes to make the business succeed.
In the last 10 years, Sweets and Meats Barbecue grew from an 8-foot table and a smoker to 3 food trucks, a catering business, and now a sit-down restaurant. She says it took a lot of hard work, but they also had help that's available to all small business owners.
Sweets and Meats, we just had our first meal here at their brick and mortar. Delicious. The brisket was amazing.
Sarah Allen runs the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program at Cincinnati State. It's a 12-week program that Kristen Bailey completed last year.
It's a big deal. I think she's in a great location. She's across from Children's, the Ronald McDonald House. There aren't a lot of restaurants right here that you can walk to, and her product is so good and accessible and affordable. So I think she's going to do great.
My mind is blown. I never knew 10 years ago that when we started and we took that leap of faith that this would happen, but it happened to us. And it just took a lot of hard work and people that believed in us in this community. So if we can do it, anybody can, honestly. And I recommend to take advantage of every single resource that's available to you.
Customers can stop in and check out the restaurant Tuesdays through Sundays from 11 until 8. Ryan Swahardy has a PhD in chemistry. During the pandemic, he started helping the owner of the Cheesecakery. Eventually, that led him to quitting his job and moving into the food industry full time. Now he's using the experience he gained by opening a curry restaurant in Madisonville.
Looking at houses all over Cincinnati, and there were a lot of houses for sale in Madisonville. But when I drove through the area, it was a little on the rougher side at the time in 2008, 2009. So I kind of always just veered away from Madisonville. But now I live here and I love it.
He not only lives here, he works here and got into the food industry when he started helping the owner of the Cheesecakery.
When COVID happened, I had more free time available, and I started, helping her more. And then eventually she was saying, why don't you just come work with me and let's start, really pushing the business. And, I quit my job and started working with her full time, and it just took off from there.
He says his PhD in chemistry helps him in the food industry.
I don't have a degree in culinary, but I've always enjoyed cooking, and a lot of it is chemistry. So to be able to reproduce it over and over again, every time you come, it'll taste the same. You know what you're getting. You know, that takes some skill in itself, too.
Hurry Curry will be located on Bramble Avenue. He says in addition to curry, there will be comfort foods on the menu with a twist, like curry tomato soup with non-grilled cheese. He says working in the food industry has been very rewarding.
When you give somebody, you know, the best cheesecake they've ever had, or the best curry dish, or they've never experienced curry before, and then they come and try yours and they're like, this is amazing. So it's very rewarding from, you know, giving people good food to try.
He says Madisonville residents, employees, and business owners care about what happens to their neighborhood, and he's excited to be a part of its boom.
It's a very proud, a very loud community. So if you go to any of the business chamber meetings or the community council meetings, you know, people show up and voice their concerns, and there's good and bad like every neighborhood. But I'm excited to see all the changes. There's a lot of small businesses moving in, and yeah, I think we're going to have a big impact on this corner of Madisonville.
The Garver family farm has been open for nearly 100 years. How its new facility is making it possible for customers to stop by all year long. And a couple opened a new business in Loveland. How two of their passions turned into a unique offering in the region. Next.
Cincinnati Rising with Rob Williams.
In the 1990s, the Garver family started inviting visitors to its family farm to set up a produce stand. Now there's a new building in its place that welcomes customers all year long.
We're still farming, so we are still 100% farmers, still growing all the produce, still doing all the grain farming. We've just kind of added the retail on top of things. We've done retail still for like the last 25, 30 years with our roadside market, but we've really upped the game with all that we're offering here in the new store.
You can find farm-to-table produce, a deli, a bakery, even a wine bar inside Garver Family Farm's new market building off of Route 63 in Monroe.
They have loved it. They have been absolutely eating it up. They love knowing that what they're getting on their plate is fresh from our field. And they know that we're still the small family business that they've always been to. So, you know, if they want to customize something, they know they can absolutely do that.
The farm has been in her family for nearly 100 years, but they're not scared of change and say it's probably necessary to keep things going.
To guarantee that our farm would remain a farm for the next 100 years, we said, okay, we have to kind of do something. We might need to tie up a little bit of our farm ground, but we need to put something in that's going to keep our family business on the map for years to come.
Crews broke ground on the building last May and was designed to make visitors feel like they're on a mini vacation.
Wow, I feel like I'm in Gatlinburg, or, you know, I'm on vacation somewhere whenever they walk in the building. And we spent a lot of time, you know, on that aesthetic of the building. Whenever people walk in, whenever they see it from the outside, we want them to walk in and feel like they're somewhere else, not that they're just in Monroe, Ohio.
She says the market will continue to focus on local produce and products in an effort to make Garver Family Farms a destination and not just a stop when people are nearby.
You know, you got to go to Garver's. You got to get Garver's corn, Garver's tomatoes. They know whenever they come to Southwest Ohio, they got to stop here. But since opening the new store, we've had people from Pennsylvania, Indiana, Kentucky. I mean, people are driving from, you know, out of state to come here and see what we have to offer.
A new concept opened in Loveland this year that combines a wine bar with a boutique. The owners say Rose Boutique and Wine Bar gave them a chance to merge two of their passions into one opportunity, all while offering something unique to the region.
Bob is kind of in the wine industry a little bit, and he always has had a love of wine, and I've always wanted to own a boutique, and so it was just kind of the perfect fit.
Years ago, I had a concept for a wine bar and kind of couldn't find a location, just kind of put it on the back burner for a while. And then, as my wife mentioned, this kind of fell in our lap, and it was able for us to for her to do her passion and own a boutique and me to have the wine bar, so combining it together was perfect for us.
Bob and his wife Colleen are Northern Kentucky natives, and they say their new shop fits in well in Loveland because of its walkability.
We've been to Loveland once or twice years ago and always kind of liked the idea of the area. Never spent too much time here, but since coming up here during kind of the build out process, we met some of the restaurant owners and they've been fantastic. We were told the people of the city and the Chamber of Commerce wants us to succeed even more than we want to succeed.
I think that Loveland has a lot of cute little hometown restaurants and bars and shops, and they definitely have said that there's a need for a wine bar. So we're happy to fill that void here.
She says they have a ton of wine behind the bar and will soon install self-serve wine machines. She says it's the perfect place to shop and sip.
They can just kind of browse the store. We have apparel, we've got gifty items, jewelry, and a lot of the food items too, if people want to make their own boards at home.
The boutique bar opened last month and they say business has been good, but they're really looking forward to the warmer weather.
Of course, the Loveland Bike Trail, people have just come in and we put out a bike rack, and so they've been using that, and they come in and order some food and wine and sit outside and they can just enjoy.
If you have any Cincinnati Rising story ideas, you can email me at rob.williams@fox19now.com. You can also find more information about every one of these stories on our website, fox19.com. Thanks for watching and happy holidays.